I want to start the program off today by talking a little bit about fat. Not a four-letter word, a three-letter word. It's called fat, F-A-T, and I'm not just talking body fat and obesity fat. I'm also talking about food fat. Despite the reputation that fat has on our body and in our diet, it's actually a really important part of good health. Fat plays a major role in healthy digestion, in the transportation of fatty nutrients and essential fatty acids through the blood, in the conversion into hormones and into cell membranes. Fat's a shock absorber. It traps water, helping the body, and particularly the skin, maintain hydration. And it acts as insulation, helping the body regulate body temperature. And fat is our body's primary source of stored energy. Basically, essentially, human beings cannot survive without fat. In the diet, there's a particularly critical group of fats called the fatty vitamins that the body cannot make but must come in through the diet. There's 4 of these fatty vitamins. They're called vitamins A, D, E, and K. I refer to them as DEAK, D-E-A-K. Vitamins DEAK, they're said to be fat soluble because they dissolve in oil or fat. And they have some pretty interesting and unique characteristics. Vitamin K is the most unique of all the fatty vitamins. It's actually the most unique of all the vitamins in the sense that, unlike other vitamins which affect a wide variety of chemical processes, vitamin K's roles are restricted to assisting or activating the production of a protein that acts as a calcium magnet. Because of calcium's critical role in blood clotting, this makes vitamin K very important for helping us maintain just the right blood consistency and keeping us from bleeding to death when we get wounded. And this calcium-attracting effect also makes vitamin K important for bone mineral density if you want to prevent osteoporosis, and also for the heart. Calcium plays a very important role for the heart, so vitamin K as a participant in the production of this calcium magnet also has an important role to play in cardiovascular health. Second fatty vitamin, vitamin A, is a building vitamin. It's important for all building processes, especially in the skin, in the muscle, and the bone. Vitamin A is also important for the immune system. Vitamin E is a protection vitamin. It's especially significant for brain cells and cells of the nervous system. It's also helpful for the muscle. If you are a workout warrior, or a weekend warrior, I should say, and you're working out on weekends, playing softball, whatever, just on the weekends, you get sore muscles. Vitamin E can be protective and helpful against the muscle soreness that occurs after workouts, any kind of workout, really. It also plays a role in wound healing. It protects the skin from sunburn and also from sun damage. And the fourth fatty vitamin is vitamin D. We call that the sunshine vitamin. The best way to get your vitamin D is to make sure you're getting some regular sun exposure. Don't burn, but get a little bit of sun. Maybe laying under a sun lamp is a good idea too. You need a sun lamp that will provide you with UVB rays in order to get vitamin D benefits from your sun lamp. As it turns out, vitamin D deficiency is related to multiple sclerosis. In a study that was published last week, researchers showed that low levels of vitamin D are associated with multiple sclerosis, which is an autoimmune disease that affects the fatty component of nerve cells. Scientists have long recognized that sun exposure can improve MS symptoms and even prevent the onset of the disease. Also, cultures that tend to eat more fish, which is a good source of vitamin D, are also associated with lower incidences of multiple sclerosis. Interestingly, most MS patients are women. And this implies a relationship of autoimmune disease in general and MS to the hormone estrogen. As it turns out, you got 2 kinds of estrogen. In a simplified sense, we'll call them healthy estrogen and toxic estrogen. And vitamin D is linked to a reduction in the bad form of estrogen. In addition to being important for multiple sclerosis, this makes vitamin D important for patients who are dealing with breast issues, including cysts and nodules and cancer, all of which are associated with toxic estrogen. Estrogen is a fatty hormone. Its most important role is to build a baby. Estrogen is super potent and super powerful stuff, and it has to be broken down and cleared out of the body effectively, lest the toxic effects or the toxic metabolites of estrogen start to build up. Estrogen is made in the female reproductive system. It's made in the adrenal glands, but it's also made in fat cells. And it doesn't matter if those fat cells belong to a man or belong to a woman. So if you're a guy listening to this and you're thinking, well, that doesn't affect me, well, you're missing out on some good information. Estrogenicity or excess estrogen in men is a big problem. It's associated with erectile dysfunction and sexual problems. It's also associated with prostate issues. And anything you can do to protect yourself from excess estrogen for gals as well as for guys is in your longevity interest. Estrogen is a stress management hormone. It's associated with inflammation and clotting and hyperactivation of the immune system, at least in its toxic forms. Estrogen is also a known carcinogen, cancer causer. Chronic exposure can suppress growth and repair and reproduction. Yet every year in this country, over 30 million prescriptions are dispensed for estrogen. That's over $2 billion worth of business to drug companies for estrogen. It's big business, and this is true not only in terms of medicine, not only in terms of mainstream medicine, but also alternative practitioners are getting in on the act with so-called bioidentical hormones. If you're dealing with any kind of estrogen issues, the digestive system is where you want to be focusing. Estrogen is cleared by bile and involves, you need to have a healthy liver in order to clear estrogen effectively, healthy intestines. Probiotics are one of your most important nutritional supplements if you're dealing with any kind of estrogen issue. That means your Biolumin Nightly Essence. Don't forget your Fucoid Z and your Ultimate Enzymes too. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program on the ZBS Radio Network. We're coming back at you with more good health information right after this break. Don't go away.
If you're the type of person who likes to volunteer and help others, this should interest you. What better way to help people than to help them overcome their health challenges? Youngevity has been helping people overcome their health challenges for years. Our approach to health is drastically different than medical doctors who mostly only treat symptoms. As a veterinarian, Dr. Joel Wallach discovered that many common disease states are actually preventable and reversible. Our mission at Youngevity is to educate Americans about their own health. If you like helping people, join us in our fight to save America. While you're helping people prevent and overcome health challenges, you will also be able to build a lucrative home-based business. So what are you waiting for? Come join us and help save America. If you've decided to join us, call your local Youngevity associate to find out how you can arm yourself with the knowledge that's needed to save America.
Numerous studies have shown the link between the intake of antioxidants and disease prevention. Foods and supplements are measured in an ORAC scale. ORAC is an acronym for Oxygen Radical Absorption Capacity. In other words, the ability to remove disease-causing free radicals from the human body. Youngevity's Cell Shield RTQ has an ORAC value of 15,800 points per serving. Cell Shield RTQ contains resveratrol, known as an anti-aging compound. Turmeric, known for promoting healthy digestion, brain function, immune system, and cellular longevity. Quercetin, a flavonoid, is known for promoting healthy blood sugar metabolism and healthy lung and cardiovascular function. Remove free radicals from your body with Cell Shield RTQ from Youngevity. If you'd like to learn more about nutritional supplementation, call your local Youngevity associate, and don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
Fish has been thought of as a brain food for eons, but it's not the fish that's key. It's actually the essential fatty acids, EFAs, or omega-3s found in fish, called essential because they're necessary for good health and your body can't make them. So they must be consumed through diet or supplementation. Youngevity has developed the perfect supplement in SmartFX, an acronym for Sustained Memory and Retrieval Time, a concentration of DHA and EPA, both members of the omega-3 family, supporting neural path function and cardiovascular health for optimal mental concentration, awareness, focus, and agility. If you've got a mentally demanding career, you're a student crunching for the big test, or just want to maintain health for a sense of well-being, try SmartFX from Youngevity. If you'd like to learn more about nutritional supplementation, call your local Youngevity associate, and don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
With increasing rates of osteoporosis, it's becoming more and more evident that most Americans have low blood levels of calcium. Some would say,
I get all the calcium I need from dairy products.
Unfortunately, that's just not true. Besides, most dairy products are homogenized and can contain steroids and antibiotics that kill off good bacteria in the digestive system. Not to mention, the human body needs magnesium to make use of dietary calcium. That's why Youngevity developed OsteoFX Plus, containing bioavailable plant-derived forms of vitamin D3, calcium, magnesium, zinc, copper, and glucosamine sulfate. OsteoFX Plus is formulated to support healthy bones and joints. Not to mention, OsteoFX Plus tastes great, unlike other products that taste like chalk or dirt. If you'd like to learn more about nutritional supplementation, call your local Youngevity associate, and don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
You've listened to physician and veterinarian Dr. Joel Wallach help many people on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie talk radio program. You've also heard hundreds of people tell how Dr. Wallach and Youngevity products have changed their lives. If you're now convinced that Dr. Wallach is onto something and you want to try Youngevity's premium quality products for yourself, we can connect you with a distributor that serves your local area. Simply call our special helpline voicemail at 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call right now and leave your name, telephone number, or email address, and we'll see to it that the right person contacts you shortly. Remember, the phone number, 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call now to change your life. That's 313-444-3463.
And I'll be sitting in for the next 45 minutes or so, as I always am on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program with my good friend and colleague, Doug Winfrey. What is up, Douglas?
Oh, great to have you back on the show.
Thank
I've got
you.
one here that kind of surprised me a little bit, but not 100%. You know, we know in this country we've got a major, major problem with heroin addiction, and a lot of it can be attributed to the use of these opiate painkillers. That's how people get hooked, and then once their prescription runs out, these things are very expensive on the street, and they turn to heroin for their fix because it's cheaper. And consequently, we now have a major problem. We have a really bad problem in the area where I live. And now the FDA, in their infinite wisdom, headline of a Fox News story, FDA approves use of opiate painkiller in 11 to 16-year-olds. It's been approved, the OxyContin, and that's the one that the problem is with, in patients age 11 to 16 who have not benefited from alternatives. The long-acting drug already treats adults suffering from around-the-clock pain. Unlike adults, doctors are to prescribe the medicine only for children who can already tolerate a minimum dose of 20 milligrams of oxycodone, the active drug ingredient in OxyContin. The warnings and precautions for pediatric patients are the same for adults, and the OxyContin maker, Purdue Pharma LP, which has been asked by the FDA to evaluate the drug's use in children, will also conduct post-market studies. And as with most of those studies that they do, I'm sure all the results will be favorable.
Are you cynical, Douglas,
Yes, I am.
about the drug business?
Oh, well, I mean, it's just insidious. I mean, I go back to, when we had the problem in '08 with, the economic collapse. During that time frame, when people are out of work, every industry in the country, even the auto industry, the oil industry, they were all suffering losses, and jobs were being lost. And guess what? Two industries were thriving at that point, posting record profits, not record sales, but record profits. Who was it? The health insurance companies and Big Pharma.
That does make you mad, doesn't it?
Well, I
Big
mean,
Pharma.
it's so insidious. I mean, I never really, until I started working with Dr. Wallach and really looking into this stuff, I've worked on a lot of radio shows over the years. I worked on one show in the Midwest back in the 80s where we concentrated on, the host liked to do all the, as he called it, the silly stuff, like Bigfoot and, who shot JFK and UFOs and, all the conspiracy theory stuff. And I'll tell you what, the biggest conspiracy that is a conspiracy, but it's not really being talked about by the conspiracy theory people, is Big Pharma and what the medical industry has done to the people of this country. I mean, it's insidious in a way. I mean, every time I talk about Big Pharma, it makes me want to play that, the song from Star Wars that they always play when Darth Vader walks in the room.
The thing is, we're complicit in it ourselves
Not
as
me.
Patients. Oh, not you. You were telling me off the air that you haven't even taken an aspirin in how long?
I just don't. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure if I had something where it was really super painful, like an operation, maybe I would. But, I'd really try to limit it.
I'll tell you, what is it about the medical model that has us so bamboozled into believing that that we can be saved from our degenerative health crises, our degenerative health challenges by pills and by surgeries and by doctor intervention, considering the fact that we got more doctors per capita than any other culture in the history of the planet, and simultaneously we're the sickest, the fattest, the most overweight, have the most high blood pressure, have the highest incidences of cancer in the history. So what is it about the medical model that has us so bamboozled? I want to hear from you guys. 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. What do you guys think? Why is it that we believe that doctors can somehow save us from ourselves when all evidence points to the contrary? All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program on the ZBS Radio Network. We'll take a break and come back right after this. Please don't go away. If you have questions about the longevity products or formulations, if you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you. It's in the body's range of activity to heal itself. The body's a healing system. It knows how to heal itself. If you're dealing with a chronic degenerative disease, the only way that can occur is if something is interfering with the body's God-given ability to heal, the divine healing mechanism. If you're dealing with a chronic degenerative disease, rest assured something is getting into the body that shouldn't be, or something is not getting into the body that should. It's really as simple as that. The bad stuff's getting in and the good stuff isn't. And it's not a doctor issue. Do we need physicians? Do we need medical professionals? Sure. If you have a trauma, if you get hit by a car, if God forbid something drops on your head, it's a good thing we got a medical model. It's a good thing that we have surgeons. It's a good thing that we have things that can stitch parts back onto our bodies. And you know what? I'm not a Pollyannish about this. I understand there's times that we need to have emergency medical help, but in terms of chronic degenerative disease and the day-to-day kinds of things that really are what affect most of us in terms of our health, our weight problems, the diabetes, the mental health issues, the frequent colds, the osteoporosis, and really what makes up 80% of our health costs, that is chronic degenerative diseases, it's not a medical issue. It's a lifestyle issue. And this is why, despite the fact we got more doctors per capita than any other culture in the history of the planet, our dependence on the medical model for these kinds of diseases of lifestyle really doesn't serve us. This is, Doug, I'm reading this now from phys.org.com. Check this out, Doug. Second cancers are on the rise. 1 in 5 U.S. cases of cancer is a repeat. And what do you think that tells us? What does that tell you? What does that mean to you, Doug? If second cancers are increasing, 1 in 5 cases of U.S. Of cancer in the United States are a second cancer.
I saw that report. And you know what's interesting is about, I guess now it's been about 2 years ago, there was a study that came out. I can't recall who did the study. But what they looked at was they looked at the top 34 cancers that people get, and they compared the incidence or a percentage against the population at the time. They went back to 1975, and they looked at the numbers of cases of cancer that had been treated and the numbers of cases where people had died from cancer and the number of diagnoses. And they looked at it every 6 years up until 2006. And across the board, they drew bar graphs. And obviously you're going to have, in numbers, you're going to have more because there's more people. But percentage-wise, based against the census data of the population at the time, there's been no change since 1975. And you have to think of how many, probably at this point, trillions and trillions of dollars, maybe even more, that were spent on cancer research, cancer treatment, and just the results of people getting cancer.
You know, by the time a cell turns cancerous, and this is another important point about cancer, by the way. When we think of cancer, we think of organs, right? And we think of tissues. We think of parts of the body. But cancer is really a cell issue. So if you have liver cancer, you got lung cancer, you got breast cancer, you really have liver cell cancer, lung cell cancer, breast cell cancer. And what this means is that if you want to address cancer, you don't address it at the level of the organ. You don't address it at the level of the lung or the breast or the liver, wherever it's showing up. You address it at the level of a cell. And this simplifies the entire convoluted craziness of this disease called cancer that is the second leading cause of death in this country. We'll talk about that when we come back from our break. And take your phone calls as well, 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552 if you've got questions about the longevity products, health, nutrition, prescription drugs. If you want to wean yourself off your meds and get on a good nutritional supplement program, we can help you. 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Doc today. We're coming back at you right after this break. Don't go away. So cancer is the second leading cause of death in this country. Rates are holding steady or maybe even slightly increasing. Our remedies or treatments, the way we deal with cancer, really hasn't changed much in the last 100 years. Radiation and surgery and drugs. So what gives? What's the issue? Well, the issue is that when we think of cancer, we think of it as an organ or tissue disease. We call it breast cancer or lung cancer or whatever kind of cancer, bone cancer, liver cancer, brain cancer. But really, at the end of the day, when you come right down to it, cancer is a cell issue. And what is it that causes a cell to become a cancerous cell? Stress, burden. When a cell is just completely at its wit's end and doesn't know how to conduct its business, basically from an energy standpoint, this is when it turns cancerous. And what is it that deprives a cell of energy? Toxicity, a lack of nutrition, and a problem with oxygenation. And folks, that's it. It has to do with toxicity, it has to do with the digestive system and foods, and it has to do with the lack of oxygen. So if you want to prevent cancer, that means getting on a good nutritional supplement program, controlling your digestive system and patching up any kind of digestive problems, leaky gut syndrome and messed up gut bacteria, etc. Stabilizing oxygen, that means practicing your deep breathing techniques, making sure you're moving your circulatory system so oxygen can get delivered to the cells, and eliminating toxicity, especially in the form of sugar. Cancer loves sugar, and cancer hates oxygen. Between nutrition, that means nutritional supplementation and taking care of the digestive system, and detoxification, eliminating sugar, and of course prescription drugs and illegal drugs and other toxins, and making sure you're oxygenating the system through movement and through deep breathing techniques. This is how we prevent cancer. And if you're dealing with cancer, that means you have to be extra vigilant, making sure that you're dealing with digestive health, eliminating problem foods, caloric restriction, restricting your calories and fasting, restricting your intake of fast-burning sugars, making sure you're deep breathing and moving your body around, and of course getting on a good nutritional supplement program. Cancer is the result of an environment of cancer. And by environment, I'm talking about a bodily environment. The cell responds to the environment it's sitting in. In fact, the very genetics of a cell, the DNA, the genes of a cell, respond to the environment that the cell is sitting in. To deal with cancer, to prevent it, or to help reverse it or help the body remit, and many people do remit, it's a question of cleaning the environment the cells are sitting in by correcting digestive issues, getting on a good nutritional supplement program, oxygenation, and making sure that you're eliminating toxicity in the form of drugs, in the form of sugar, in the form of all toxins. It's really as simple as that. And that's the key idea. That's the most important idea of this program. That's the most important idea of the work Dr. Wallach does and the work that I do. It's that health is simple. Health is our birthright. It's in the body's nature to be healthy. Take out the bad stuff, put in the good stuff, and let the body do the rest. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number. 888-379-2552. Toll free. Doug, who's first on the line?
Let's head to Las Vegas, Nevada. And Denise, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Denise.
Hi. I have a question. I was told I have osteostenosis.
Osteostenosis. What does that sound? Is that you? Is that who's I hear?
Yeah.
Is that you on your phone? Go ahead. Osteostenosis.
I'm on the porch.
Okay, go ahead, ma'am. Osteostenosis.
And I'm having a hard time walking or standing upright more than 5 minutes, and I want to know what to do. I ordered your product for the month of July. I didn't get any relief that I was hoping for.
All right, well, let's talk about osteostenosis because you should definitely be getting relief. Osteostenosis, by the way, for listeners, is also spinal stenosis, they call it sometimes. It's a narrowing or closing of the bones. And we'll talk about that when we come back from our break because there's a lot you could do. So hang tight, Denise. Thanks for your call, too. I'm Pharmacist Ben along with Doug Winfrey. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. We're coming back. Okay, we are back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Dr. Wallach. Today we're talking to Denise about osteostenosis. By the way, our number is 831-685-1080 or 888-379-2552. Denise, you there?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the deal. Osteostenosis is a closing up of the canal inside your bones, correct? You know that. I don't know if you know that. I assume you know that.
Yes.
Okay. So what is it that causes that canal to close up? Well, in order to understand it, understand how this mechanism occurs, and you have to understand the mechanism if you're going to start to work with it, we got to talk about the cell. Now, before we took our calls, we were talking about how cancer is not a tissue disease, it's not an organ disease, it's a cell disease. And not understanding the nature of the body as being composed of a bunch of these little entities called cells is really behind our failure in treating disease. All disease is cell disease. That is cancer, that is heart disease, and that is osteostenosis. In the case of osteostenosis, it's the cells that line the inner part of the bone. When these cells don't do their business correctly, when these cells become wounded, when these cells become dysfunctional, the body will manifest something called inflammation, which everybody's heard of, inside that area. So osteostenosis is an inflammatory condition of the cells that line the inside of the bone. When those cells become inflamed, they swell and fluids come into the area, and that whole area becomes narrower, and that's what stenosis means. So does that make sense so far? Because in that it's important that makes sense, because in that explanation is the clue to taking care of the problem. There's nothing your doctor can do, by the way. Nothing. In fact, if he does give you any kind of medicine, he'll probably give you prednisone or some kind of anti-inflammatory. What did he give you, by the way?
That's what I'm on.
Okay, that's what they give you. Now, if they give you an anti-inflammatory for your condition, what does that tell you your condition is caused by? Inflammation, right? So what is inflammation? Inflammation is a defensive response. It's a protective response. So the question to ask, Denise, is what is your body protecting itself from? Well, it's inside your body. It's in your bones. So it's protecting itself from something that's getting inside the body. It's not magic. There's only a few things that get inside your body. Number one, it's food or food byproducts from a broken down digestive system. It could be toxins that are coming in through the diet. And as I said earlier, sugar is a major toxin. And a lack of oxygen will compound the problem. So what you want to do is, number one, get yourself on the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. They're a must. That goes without saying for anybody dealing with a chronic degenerative crisis. There's more, but that's the basic bottom line. That's the minimum wage of nutrition, the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. You get on the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. Then the second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to look to the digestive system to see what's getting into the blood through the digestive tract that's amping up or even causing this inflammatory response. Now, how old are you approximately, Denise? You don't have to tell me exactly.
64.
64 or 54?
54.
Okay, so 54. So I'm going to tell you something. I'm not a psychic. I'm just a pharmacist, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to guarantee this is the truth. All right? You got some kind of digestive problem, and it's long term. It's been going on for a while. Correct? Now, you may not even know it, actually, because these things go under the radar, but if you have osteostenosis, chances are you know it. So it makes sense so far, ma'am?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to focus on the foods that are getting into the blood through the digestive system that are causing distress, constipation, diarrhea, loose stools, cramping, bloating, and then eliminate those foods. You want to write everything down. I call that a food diary because sometimes these things, they become transparent to us. We don't notice them unless we write them down. So you're going to eliminate problem foods. And the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence. There's a couple of reasons why this is important. First of all, it's critical for digestive health. But second of all, it's also important for how you absorb nutrients, especially fats and minerals, both of which are important for the bone. So in addition to the Healthy Start Pack, you want to get on the Biolumin Nightly Essence. You also want to do the Ultimate Enzymes after all your meals. It helps to swig a little bit of apple cider vinegar after you do your Ultimate Enzymes. So Ultimate Enzymes, apple cider vinegar, the good bacteria that you're going to get from the Biolumin Nightly Essence, and then last but most certainly not least, get yourself on the Z Radical, which not only is important for bone health, but also important for digestive health and the health of the circulatory system. Now, you may also at this point have a problem with blood sugar. in which case you're going to need to use the sweeties and the ultimate selenium as well. But first things first, focus on digestive health. If you want to do one more thing, get on the glucogel caps, which will not only help you with bone health, but they'll also help you with the integrity and building up the strength of the digestive tract if you're dealing with any kind of leaky gut syndrome. Focus on the digestive system. I guarantee your doctor didn't tell you any of that stuff. And that's why you got to understand how the body is put together if we're going to understand how to deal with chronic degenerative disease. Thanks for your call, Denise. Hope we helped you out. Who's next on the line? Doug?
Let's head to Oregon. And Janice, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Janice.
Hi, Ben. Thanks
What's
for
up?
taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
My ophthalmologist just told me this morning that I have blepharitis.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. In other words, the blepharitis just showed up, or what? You didn't notice it?
Well, I think I've had it for a while, but I'd never heard of this.
Well, blepharitis is exactly the same problem that Denise had, except yours is in the eyelids. Hers was in the bone. All right. She had osteostenosis, which is an inflammatory condition of the inside of the bone. You got blepharitis, which is an inflammatory condition of the eyelids. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the deal. And this is why understanding how the body is put together from a cellular nature is so important. If you think it's an eyelid problem, then you're going to go to the eye doctor, and he's not going to know what to do, so he'll probably give you the same medicine that Denise got for her osteopenia, or a derivative of it. Did he give you a medicine, ma'am?
No, he didn't, but he told me to scrub my eyelids with baby shampoo, which has yellow dye in it. I don't want to use it.
Is that what he really told you? All right. All right. That's just, I don't even want to go into that. That's so too crazy to even address. Blepharitis is an inflammatory condition. So I'm just going to basically tell you the same thing I told Denise. It's an inflammatory condition. That means the body's protecting itself. Inflammation is like a beaver's dam. It's the way the body protects itself from something that's getting into the circulatory system. In the case of osteostenosis that our last caller had, the body's protecting itself in the bone area. Your body's protecting itself in the eye area. It doesn't matter. The question is what is it protecting itself from? Well, there's only one way things get into the body, and that's through food. Unless you're an IV drug user, you don't sound like one. So basically you're looking at a food issue, a digestive issue, a toxicity issue, an oxygen issue, and a nutrient issue. So step number one, get yourself on the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. That's the Healthy Start Pack. That gives you the basics. Step number two, start to work on digestive health. Do a food diary. You'll probably notice because the eyes are so responsive, the eyelids, I should say, are so responsive because the tissue is so thin. You'll probably notice that when you eat certain foods, your condition gets worse. So see if you can associate foods with digestive health problems or inflammatory flare-ups. Then you're going to eliminate those foods. Step number three, start to do nutrition that helps protect and support digestive health. That would be the Biolumin Nightly Essence, 3 capsules in the morning, 3 capsules at night. Your ultimate enzymes after meals. Make sure you're using apple cider vinegar. And by the way, I forgot to mention this to Denise, the ultimate enzymes, in addition to being important for the digestive system, also have anti-inflammatory properties when you take them on an empty stomach. So using your ultimate enzymes after meals and maybe on an empty stomach with a little apple cider vinegar. Then you're going to want to do your Fucoid Z or your Z Radical. That also has a supportive benefits for the inflammatory system and for the digestive tract as well. And then if you want to do a couple of more things, use your glucogel caps. And then I probably would throw in the Ultimate Daily and perhaps even the Ultimate Selenium. Most important, though, is focus on foods. And if you know you have a digestive health issue, then you're halfway home. A lot of folks don't even know they have digestive health issues until they do a food diary and start to write things down. But if you know you have one, you're halfway home. This is so important because it's counterintuitive to link the digestive system to eye problems or to link the digestive system to bone problems. But once you understand how the body is put together, it makes perfect sense. So work on your digestive system. Focus on the gut with the Biolumin Nightly Essence and your ultimate enzymes and apple cider vinegar. Make sure you're using your Healthy Start Pack to get your Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. And don't forget the importance of a food diary. Restricting your sugar can also help. Sugar is also pro-inflammatory stuff. All right, thanks for your call. Appreciate it. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, sitting in for Dr. Wallach today. You're listening to the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number. 888-379-2552 toll free. We'll be back after this. All right, we're back on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie program. I'm Pharmacist Ben, along with Doug Winfrey, and you and your phone calls. 831-685-1080 is our priority line number, 888-379-2552, toll-free. Who's next on the line, Doug?
All right, let's head to New Mexico. And Cathy, you're on with Pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
Hey, Cathy.
Hi, Dr. Ben. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's going on?
I have a friend of mine that's been on the Healthy Start Pack and some additional things for the last 2 years. She's 72 years old.
Okay.
Does a lot of exercising and things like that, but she went to the doctor recently because she was experiencing imbalance when she was walking.
Okay.
And the doctor told her, he did some blood tests, and he said that she had a B6 and B12 toxicity and to stop all of her supplements immediately.
Okay. Well, that's just going to make me angry. I don't even want to address that stupidity.
Yes, I know.
The stupid things they say. It's beyond stupidity.
So she's obviously concerned since she's older, and
it's not B12 and B6. It has to do with her head probably, and maybe her adrenal glands. But here's the way you want to address this, okay? And this is why it's so important to understand how the body works, as we've been talking about today. What other health conditions does she have? Nobody just has dizziness or problems walking. There's got to be something else going on. If you just think it's a head problem or a dizziness problem or a vertigo problem or a walking problem, you're not going to know what to do. And that's why your doctor will say stupid things like B6 and B12, which are essential nutrients. B6 toxicity, are you kidding me? B12 toxicity for an elderly person? That's one of the dumbest things I've heard in almost 30 years of being in. All right, so here's the deal. What else is going on in her life? What else is going on in her body? Does she have a digestive issue? That's usually the first thing to look at. You see what I'm saying? We want to find places we can work. We can't go into her brain. Balance, by the way, is regulated by the brain and also to a certain extent by the circulatory system. So we can't go into her circulation. We can't go into her brain, but we can look for other places where we can work. And the most important and the easiest place to work is going to be with food and with the digestive system. And if she's like a typical American and she's in her 70s, there's no way she can possibly have gotten through 7 decades without having a digestive system breakdown. So immediately, if this was my mom, this was my, somebody I knew, my neighbor, friend of mine, this is what I would do. I would tell her to fast. That means stop eating. Chances are pretty good as soon as she stops eating, she's going to notice that she feels better. Then she starts eating again after a day or after 2 days, and then she's going to notice that she doesn't feel as good, she's got cramping, she's got bloating, her dizziness gets worse, etc. You follow me, ma'am? This making sense? Okay, good. So you work on the digestive system. Eliminate problem foods is step number 1. Step number 2, she's already on the Healthy Start Pack. You're going to want to start to throw in some digestive support, the Biolumin Nightly Essence, the Ultimate Enzymes, and then some apple cider vinegar after meals. I'm calling the Fucoid Z and the Z Radical digestive support, but they're also important for the circulatory system and other parts of the body. And when you have problems walking like that, that's telling me the circulation is thrown off a little bit, and also there's some issues probably with probably issues in the brain area, in the head area. So the Fucoid Z or the Biolumin Nightly Essence will help for the circulatory system, will also help for the digestive system. Last but most certainly not least, sometimes when people have low blood oxygen, they'll initiate a hypertensive or high blood pressure response, and that can cause problems with dizziness or problems walking. If you ever drank a lot of coffee or didn't have a lot of sleep or you're under stress and then you tried to get up quickly out of a sitting position and you got a little woozy or dizzy, you've experienced this. It's called postural hypotension, and she may have a little bit of that going on. Slow, deep breathing, oxygenating the blood is one of the best ways to deal with that. So Healthy Start Pack, food diary, eliminating problem foods and maybe fasting, using your Biolumin Nightly Essence and your Ultimate Enzymes and your Fucoid Z, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, by the way, with your Ultimate Enzymes, and practicing deep breathing techniques is important. For any medical professional to tell somebody to stop all their supplements because they're dizzy or they're not walking correctly is not only dumb, it's completely irresponsible. And that's all I'm going to say about that, because that just makes me mad. Does that help you, Cathy?
Really does, and thank you so much.
God bless you. Thank you.
I will pass this on. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Let's see if we can get one more call in. Oh, that's it. There's the music. Apologize if we left you on hold. Listen, you guys, health is our birthright. What that means is it's simple. If you're not as healthy as you should be, if you're dealing with a chronic degenerative disease, if you got high blood pressure, it's not a doctor concern. It's a lifestyle concern. which means the good stuff isn't getting in, the bad stuff is. Patch up the gut, do a food diary, eliminate problem foods, practice your deep breathing techniques, and get on a good nutritional supplement program like the one designed by Dr. Wallach, the Healthy Start Pack, and the Mighty 90 Essential Nutrients. Thanks for listening, friends. For Doc Wallach, for Doug Winfrey, all the folks at the ZBS Radio Network, I'm Pharmacist Ben. Have a wonderful, beautiful, spectacular day. We'll talk to y'all later. Bye for now.
Hi everyone, Andy Anderson here. Are you using those handy little bottles of gel that zap germs, bacteria, and other nasties? In today's world, that's smart, especially with all the filthy doorknobs, shopping carts, and handrails we touch every day. Here's what you may not know. Once the alcohol evaporates, goodbye effectiveness. No more protection until you use it again. PureWorks to the rescue. Our FDA-compliant foam, lotion, soap, and spray do not rely on alcohol. Their killing power lasts up to 4 hours. PureWorks disinfecting spray is EPA certified to kill swine flu, bird flu, MRSA, HIV, hepatitis B and C, and a whole host of viruses and bacteria. Mold and fungus too. It's even safe around children and pets. You'll love the soft feel of PureWorks on your hand. It actually conditions and will not dry your skin. Here's a little peace of mind knowing your hands are still germ-free hours later. Get your hands on PureWorks and get PureWorks on your hands. Stand by. Pull out your paper and pencil for your local number to order PureWorks.
We've all heard the term baby boomer referring to those born from 1946 to 1964. There are an estimated 80 million baby boomers, with the first wave hitting the Social Security and Medicare systems in recent years, with more to follow. Many healthcare experts are predicting epidemics of Alzheimer's, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cancer among this group. However, these impending epidemics can be averted, as there is a new group emerging. This group we call the baby bloomers, because despite their chronological age, they are still physically fit, active, working, and playing. They've heard Dr. Wallach's message regarding diet, lifestyle, and nutritional supplementation. So while many around them diminish in health and vitality, they are blossoming and blooming into vibrant, healthy, on-the-go people. Wouldn't you rather be a longevity baby bloomer? If you'd like to learn more about nutritional supplementation, call your local longevity associate, and don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
If you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, or the metabolic syndrome, and you're tired of seeing your blood glucose levels rise and fall like a ship on the ocean, but you don't want to take those drugs the rest of your life, Longevity has an alternative. A product called Sweeties has been developed just for you. Used as part of your regular diet, Sweeties helps maintain healthy blood sugar levels. A formulation specially designed to nutritionally assist your body with the regulation of your blood sugar level. Sweeties supports healthy glucose metabolism because it's fortified with aspartic acid, chromium, and vanadium, all to help you promote healthy blood sugar levels. If you want to get off those drugs and control your blood sugar metabolism naturally, try Longevity's Sweeties product. If you'd like to learn more about nutritional supplementation, call your local Longevity associate, and don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
You've listened to physician and veterinarian Dr. Joel Wallach help many people on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie talk radio program. You've also heard hundreds of people tell how Dr. Wallach and Longevity products have changed their lives. If you're now convinced that Dr. Wallach is onto something and you want to try Longevity's premium quality products for yourself, we can connect you with a distributor that serves your local area. Simply call our special helpline voicemail at 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call right now and leave your name, telephone number, or email address, and we'll see to it that the right person contacts you shortly. Remember, the phone number, 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call now to change your life. That's 313-444-3463. You've listened to physician and veterinarian Dr. Joel Wallach help many people on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie talk radio program. You've also heard hundreds of people tell how Dr. Wallach and Longevity products have changed their lives. If you're now convinced that Dr. Wallach is onto something and you want to try Longevity's premium quality products for yourself, we can connect you with a distributor that serves your local area. Simply call our special helpline voicemail at 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call right now and leave your name, telephone number, or email address, and we'll see to it that the right person contacts you shortly. Remember, the phone number 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call now to change your life. That's 313-444-3463.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, your host of Dead Doctors Don't Lie. If you're interested in a colon cleanse, blood cleanse, liver cleanse, in the classical herbal way, you want to ask your longevity associate for Herbal Rainforest. Herbal Rainforest has 16 herbs, 16 cleansing herbs, classic cleansing herbs, and 77 plant minerals. That's right, and these are all organic. It doesn't get any better than that. In your busy day, and you're around all these toxins out there in your workplace, on the way home, going to work, in your food, in the air, in the water, you need Herbal Rainforest. I guarantee you, it will give you a cleanse. You can control the dose. It's a liquid. It tastes good. It doesn't get any better than this. A colon that's happy makes you happy. Nothing better than a happy colon. Herbal Rainforest. Clean it out.
For more information on this product or others you've heard about on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie radio program, call your local longevity associate today. And don't forget to ask about home-based business opportunities.
Greetings, everyone. Judy DeVilbus here. What do you think of when you hear the words tangy tangerine? Well, I think of like a sweet, tangy tasting something. Well, what I'm referring to is the Ultimate Tangy Tangerine. It's a fantastic product. It has everything you need, and a great benefit is it's very, very delicious. It's very easy to drink. I've suggested it even to youngsters. Even children like it. Even little guys. Even little girls. They come right into my office. Their parents can't get them to take those chewables. And besides that, they're not as good as Tangy Tangerine. And I give them a little taste of that, and you know something? They're pleased as punch. So, if it's good for a child and it tastes delicious, why not you? There's no excuse not to take a vitamin when it tastes as good as that does. So how about it? Tangy Tangerine should be the answer to all of your nutritional program problems.
For more information or to order, call your longevity distributor today. And don't forget to ask about longevity home-based business opportunities. You've listened to physician and veterinarian Dr. Joel Wallach help many people on the Dead Doctors Don't Lie talk radio program. You've also heard hundreds of people tell how Dr. Wallach and longevity products have changed their lives. If you're now convinced that Dr. Wallach is onto something and you want to try longevity's premium quality products for yourself, we can connect you with a distributor that serves your local area. Simply call our special helpline voicemail at 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call right now and leave your name, telephone number, or email address, and we'll see to it that the right person contacts you shortly. Remember, the phone number 313-444-3463. That's 313-444-3463. Call now to change your life. That's 313-444-3463. 3463.
I am Judy DeVilbus. Here I am speaking to you again. I just wanted to tell you that recently I started drinking the Whey Shakes again, the chocolate Whey Shake. And you need to remember, the Whey Shake isn't just for losing weight. It's a fantastic place to get your great protein. And if you're trying to gain weight, you can take it along with your meals. And the best part is, if you want to just have a great protein shake, do like I do. Put it over ice, stir it up, and you can sip on it for 20 minutes to an hour. I do it every single day. I absolutely love it. You need to get back to it too. It's really good for you. And it makes not fat, but it makes muscle after you work out. And you can also mix it up in a blender with an egg, and you have the most incredible health protein shake. Or mix it with a little water, stir it up, and you have a little pudding. And who doesn't like pudding?
For more information or to order, call your longevity distributor today. And don't forget to ask about longevity home-based business opportunities.